Hold on. Tyler.
Snapping. Always good to snap at your partner.
Tyler, can you close that door?
It's been open this long.
Well, no, it wasn't open. She opened it.
She's a cat, Damon.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Your Child's an Idiot, the podcast where we look back on things from our childhood and see if they're any good to begin with. My name is DJ. What are you doing to your mustache?
Sometimes my mustache splits off into... I'm Damon, by the way.
Okay, good.
Sometimes my mustache splits off in twain. They start, the middle section starts like pushing out,
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
I feel like it looks bad. And so I try and bring it back together.
You want to get those hairs back into the way of your mouth.
Correct. I do.
why-
Actually.
Now, this is a question I'm going to be asking myself. Why does that weird me out? But it does. I don't know why it does.
The hair in my mouth?
No, the mustache messing that you're doing right now. It makes me very uncomfortable.
I wanted to go straight down. I want to Nick Offerman, not whatever that... Hercule Poirot? Is that what it's trying to do?
Well, listen, we were talking about how it's Nuclear Family Month / Pride Month.
Yeah.
And
not slash. By law, we have to say it is
Either one.
Nuclear
Yes.
Family Month, and then we can whisper it's Pride Month.
God bless the USA and little baby Jesus, and also gays don't exist. And
Correct.
happy Nuclear Family Month. But I was inspired
Pledge of Allegiance. Yeah.
by your choice. And listen, I'm an ally, I would say,
Of nuclear families.
of nuclear families. So I've
Just don't
chosen.
do it in my face.
Just don't be all up in my face about it with your 2.5 children, whatever it is, and your opposite gender partner. I've been inspired, and so I have chosen, just off the top of my head, a movie that I think supports Pride Month. And when I saw it, I wouldn't say that I would say more oblivious to allyship, not necessarily not an ally.
I can't wait to see where this is going.
This is from the mid 2000s.
2 girls and a guy in a pizza place.
No. But I was going to say close. It's not close. This is a movie that got a lot of critical acclaim and is known for being beautifully shot, beautifully scored, and spurned one of the most famous lines from the mid 2000s. The movie. It stars 2, I guess, erstwhile heartthrobs.
Is this BBM?
It is.
Don't say
BBM. Brokeback Mountain. Yes. Ang Lee's, Heath Ledger's, Jake Gyllenhaal's. Do you feel like this is a worthwhile Pride Month pick?
It's funny. Yes, it certainly is. And it was such a cultural
I win Pride Month. The
you
straights
win
win.
allyship. Your prize is you get to be gay married. No one else can, but you do. Don't suck it, Dork, unless you want to.
Sorry, please continue. Stop my bit.
This was such a touchstone, and it felt like... It's funny that you brought this up, because I think I saw this somewhat recently for... I think it might have been its 20th anniversary last year.
Yeah.
And I saw it...
2005.
Someone was doing like an anniversary showing, one of the theaters, and I saw it, and I had not seen it since it came out, because it's not the movie you sit down and you're like, it's a Saturday afternoon, and it's kind of raining out. Let's watch these 2 men
flick.
Just watch their lives come unraveled because of the weight of their secrets. But I hadn't seen it since then. And it's so, not funny to watch, but it's funny, like all the Sturm and Drang about it. And it was like, we're going to show gay sex. The gay sex lasts about 12 seconds on screen.
Which is accurate to my knowledge.
Honey, I just want to get to bed.
Let's go to bed.
Well, that was good for me.
Honk shoe.
I should mention I am a cartoon duck, so that's how I sleep.
You draw one because you are one. That's you, buddy.
That's my demon. That's my demon from the not Neil Gaiman. Who's the other guy? Golden Compass.
Neil deGrasse Gaiman.
Absolutely. Speaking of Gaiman, Brokeback Mountain. But yeah, it is a very sad movie, but it also feels very like the pop culture, like trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
And thus not involving any gay people whatsoever.
Yeah, how would you feel? Like, not that you speak for the gays, you are the Lord. Actually, speak for the gays. What like how do you feel?
Chop down a gay, I do pop out of its stump.
How do you feel like it was received in the community from
in the community? I think there was a lot of excitement. I mean, this was a time like the 2000s. I remember, when I was in college, we'd go to the Queer Center. We'd get all these, queer magazines like Out and XY and The Advocate. And
of course,
all your favorites. When you go to your gay dentist, all those same issues are still in their
highlights. Yeah, Maxim, I know them all.
Well, Goofus and Galliant, what's their deal? You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
But it was such like the easy way for like an award buzz was for like a straight guy to play a gay guy. And so all on the cover of The Advocate, it felt like 11 out of the 12 months of the year would be some straight guy who was in a gay movie that month.
Yeah.
And so it was big news, especially for like Heath Ledger, who's, I mean, is this his big like step into like big films after 10 Things I Hate?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm trying to think of, it's before, of course, Batman.
Right. It was before The Dark Knight, which was like, I think, was that one of his last films, if not his last film, right?
Oh, and The Knight's Tale. That was another one. But this was like a big drama. And I'm trying to think if he was in...
Because this was like a big turn for him, I think, or at least maybe just the critical acclaim involved. Because he had kind of been known for the heartthrob roles, the kind of lighter fare, and I think this was an intentional turn, like to be like, hey, I can act and stuff, and everybody.
And
like,
I think Jake Gyllenhaal was like the bigger name in this, at the time for Donnie Darko, and of course everyone's favorite October Sky,
right? Yeah. And then Bubble Boy, of course, as well.
And Bubble Boy. The gay community loved Bubble Boy.
Yeah.
They would follow Jake anywhere after Bubble Boy.
I would say like pretty stacked hottie cast, too, like between Heath and Jake.
Yeah,
Michelle Williams,
Jake, Michelle Williams, Anne Hathaway.
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid. I always forget that Randy Quaid is in this.
Why is he in this? I don't remember that.
He plays the guy who hires them to move these sheep across the prairie. What is the line that he says? I paid you to herd sheep, not stem the rows.
Nice.
And every time I hear that, I'm like, do I know what gay sex is? What is stemming the rows?
Isn't that taking the thorns off? Like, what is...
Well, I imagine, you could have a rose bud, and then you have the stem. The stem goes into the rose. You take the thorns off. A lot of people don't know, much like a bear, gay men's penises have barbs on them.
Yeah.
To keep the other guy in place.
So he can't escape. This checks out.
Happy Pride, everyone. But yeah, it feels a little, I guess what I'm trying to say is it feels a little quaint when I watched it a few months ago. To see like all the kerfuffle about it. But it was still heart-wrenching to watch. So I am excited to have my heart wrenched again. Thanks, Tej.
Sorry about that. I feel like I haven't seen it since it came out, but I remember it being more like, that was boring than I'm outraged by this. Like that was sad. And I don't know how to feel about this. So I'm interested to go back just to.
There's a lot of longing and a lot of sheep herding. More than you remember, and a lot of like an acoustic guitar just being like.
I do remember that, like, the music in this being like, well, that's pretty good, because it was very acoustic guitar heavy. And who did it? It was Gustavo Sentinel. I'm messed up with his name. Okay, maybe I don't know.
Is that a person you know though?
No. Okay. He did the rose to fame creating the scores for Babel as well as Brokeback Mountain.
Babel with like Brad Pitt and a zillion other people?
Mm-hmm.
That Babel?
Mm-hmm. 21 Grams, 2003.
I preferred the previous 20 Grams movies. I did not like 21 Grams.
I like 22 Grams. I feel like I understood it more where
they got back in the swing of things with 22 Grams, but 21 Grams was a huge misstep.
He did gain further recognition for his work on The Last of Us game.
Okay.
And he's returned to adapt the music for the TV series. So I know you love that game and the TV show.
I wanted to play as a zombie, but they won't let me.
Are we trying to go against
that
type?
DLC? I just hate Joel. Ang Lee also is one of those directors. He does a lot of queer films, despite, as far as I understand, he is not queer. I know he did The Wedding Banquet, which was, I believe, a Korean film from the 90s that was about two guys that actually recently got remade by Bowen Yang to little acclaim. Not that it was bad, but I feel like it came and went and no one said anything.
Yeah.
But it was about an American expat, I believe, living in Korea with his boyfriend, a long-term boyfriend. But then that Korean boyfriend, his mom comes to visit and they have to do a clever ruse.
Oh, hijinks.
To trick her into thinking that the woman who lives in the apartment below them is actually his fiancée. That was Ang Lee, and I feel like he has another big gay film.
Hulk. You're probably thinking of Hulk with Eric Bana.
I mean, those purple pants. Come on.
Yeah, he did.
You are not
Life of
fooling
Pi,
anyone.
which is not necessarily gay, but I did really like that movie. I forgot that was him.
You can like non-gay movies, dude. It's not necessarily gay, but I did like it.
Not during Pride Month, I can't.
What else did he do?
Lust,
Well, of course, he did Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon. What's their deal?
What is Lust, Caution? I don't know that. Sense and Sensibility. What? He didn't direct that, did he?
No, he did. He did direct Sense and Sensibility. Emma Thompson wrote the script.
Gay. All right.
Pretty gay.
It was his first English language film. How about that? Now we're just reading.
We're going
to let you read as much Wikipedia information about Ang Lee as you want. We're going to watch the film and we're going to talk about our recently by Wikipedia educated opinions
to the listeners. I haven't slept, so I am loopy as hell.
Yeah,
why did I censor myself?
That explains it.
I'm both loopy as hell and loopy as fuck.
Yeah, you finally realized
loops.
We're broadcast simultaneously on NPR, and you finally wised up to it. We're gonna watch Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain, 2005.
You come on with us. Stem the rose while you're listening.
Yeah, that's my Heath Ledger. He's got like a chaw, you know.
Oh my god, yeah. That was Sling Blade. I apologize to the memory of Heath Ledger. All right, let's go on. Hey DJ, can you tell our listeners about our website while playing the overused guitar strums from Brokeback Mountain?
Sure, I can tell you that. I can only play it in rhythm because I can't talk and play at the same time. It's patreon.com/your inner child is an idiot. This is the tale of two men. One of them's gay.
Hey, they Jack Twist and Anis Del Mar might identify the same way.
That's true. And I mean, technically, at least in terms of sex, they're bisexual. We'll get into it. But as far as this podcast is concerned, you can just go to old patreon.com. It just sounds, so all of a sudden, it sounds like a folksy commercial where I'm like, Folgers Coffee. It'll get you there. Just like sex with a woman. It's not what you want.
Sometimes.
But it's got caffeine, you know what I'm saying? Patreon.com.
It does feel like either like a cloying ad like from Budweiser when all their transphobic drinkers were mad and they're like, what if we just go back to the Clydesdale stuff?
Show the horse. Don't worry about their penises.
Or if I'm like running in a really rural county and I'm like, why?
Ooh.
I don't hearken to these city folk telling us in real America what to do. I support President Trump in everything he does. Even the more inexplicable things that are indefensible, I defend them.
just looking up sundown towns as you're in Google. What does that mean again? Is this a problem for me or just people of color? It's probably me too, if I'm being honest.
Hashtag me too.
Patreon.com.
Could we get sued for using that strum?
/ your inner child's an idiot. No, because I'm pretty sure I'm playing it wrong.
It feels accurate to me.
Go us. Great. Okay. We are back. We watched Brokeback Mountain, film from 21 years ago.
Ooh, I don't like that.
Fuck you.
Time.
For making me suggest this movie. All right. I'll recap this movie since it's my choice. And I'm an ally.
Thank you for your bravery.
of ranchers everywhere. 2 men. They're freelance ranchers. Freelancers.
Yeah, they fill out 1099s, I would imagine.
In the
Thank you for
60s.
including that.
And they get paired together to watch some sheep in a pretty convoluted plan. And they fall in love. They have a tryst. And this movie tells the tale of their star-crossed lover story across decades as they go through life in their marriages of varying levels of realness, happiness. And they continue on this affair, seeing each other every once in a while. It's not clear what the intervals are exactly, but it's not important.
It feels like at least once a year.
It seems like that. And they always have Brokeback Mountain, but as they yearn for something more real, Jack, pledged by, what's his name?
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jack played by Jake.
Annis played by Heath Ledger. They can never get together for real. And their lives crumple in various ways. And then Jack tragically dies in a way that's not exactly revealed for sure. Could be a tire-changing accident. Could be brutally beaten to death. And as it is in Ennis's mind. And then we just see the ultimate happy ending of Ennis living in a trailer by himself where no one fucking bothers him.
That's true. You know what? It might be an introvert's happy ending. Like, oh, finally he gets to be left alone.
Just eating beans.
He's burned all the relationships in his life, and he finally can be left alone.
Free to marble mouth in peace, like he's always wanted. Ang Lee's Brokeback Mountain.
Have I ever told you, at least on mic, the story of when I was at work?
At least on mic.
I have a habit of not being unprofessional, but like trying to trigger other people into being unprofessional.
Ooh.
I maintain professionalness.
Rage baiting.
And it's even like, it's subconscious. I don't even know I'm doing it. But one time we were dealing with a technical issue that I really couldn't speak to. So I brought my friend in Yorn, Shay, to help on the call.
Dudes. Mm-hmm.
And we were calling a guy in the southern United States. And I said, after the phone had rung already twice, I said, oh, and by the way, this guy's a bit of a marble mouth. And then the guy said, yeah, they were, and Shay lost it, had to mute the phone, like right when you would, respond to the person. And so I had to take over. So I had to take over and be like, oh,
this guy. Yeah.
And be like, hi, David. It's Damon. I'm calling from the place that I work at. And redacted for legal reasons. And he was like, hey, how you doing? And Shay just couldn't do it. And then like it got to the part where I'm like, no, Shay, this is the reason you're
really
on the call. I need your help. If you could just pull it together. It was great.
So unprofessional.
You see what I have to work with, mister.
Speaking of professionalism, how about that professional recap? It basically told the story, you know?
It's true. Star-crossed, they couldn't be together, and then beaten to death with a tire iron. Absolutely. Perfect.
Let's start with the most important question.
Here we go.
That I think really matters. Are these gentlemen representative of, are they homosexual or are they bisexual?
I think, I think when I saw this for
Who
the first
fucking
time,
cares is my answer. But sorry, good.
When I saw it the first time, I was like, yep, two homos. But
Yeah.
watching it recently, I think Jack Twist is bisexual.
Yeah.
And he seems to like his wife and children. That might just be a difference between their own personalities, but he seems to genuinely like Anne Hathaway, and he seems to genuinely like his son. It doesn't feel like they're an anchor dragging him down into the depths of his own despair, like Ennis Del Mar. Ennis is more of a tough nut to crack by design.
Yeah.
I feel like Ennis is gay, and just does not have the tools that Jack has to navigate the world in two separate planes.
Well, and not completely unrelated. Ennis clearly, I'm not an armchair expert here, but depressed, or there's something going on with him that that is related to it, that he can't live the life he wants to live.
Right. I mean, he also, seems to have a father who may have been a huge fucking homophobe, who, when he was 9, showed him the bodies of 2 ranchers who were beaten, presumably because they were gay. And he even says, like, as a casual aside, like, I wouldn't be surprised if my dad was the one who did it to him. So, like, he has this, like, lingering trauma of thinking, if I live my life even semi-openly, I will be beaten to death and my genitals pulled off and left to die in an irrigation ditch.
Or even that it's so wrong that it deserves such a fate, like, which he has that kind of self-hatred within him, I think, too. Like, I don't think he hates... I think maybe a little bit he resents Jack for being more open, but also like has that self-hatred more than anything else that is in, where like he doesn't deserve.
Well, also like a paranoia. I mean, there's that scene when Jack comes to visit, when Jack misunderstands like what the divorce letter meant, and he sees a guy just driving by, and he's just like completely distracted, like watching this guy drive by, and assumes, oh, he's here to kill me because I, have queer feelings.
Yeah.
So just a fun existence for Ennis. But also, I mean, it's funny that our 2 Pride Month movies, this and Hedwig, have a plot point of closeted men or men who are not entirely being honest to themselves, fucking their partners from behind. Ennis does it, and then Tommy Gnosis and Hedwig does it. It's such a weird coincidence between these 2 movies. It's like, what an interesting plot point for both of you.
I mean, is it a coincidence, or is that like how you're going to get representation? Is it's complicated? Like, first of all, I think there's a piece of it, and you can speak more authoritatively on this as a member of the culture, I think. But there's a piece of it where it's like relationships are complicated, and it's also like it's a story which like benefits from complications and obstacles and stuff. But it's also like that's how you're going to get any sort of representation of a queerness or a queer relationship on screen, is that it's mixed up in like, well, it's complicated, or I don't think this movie of all is saying you should or shouldn't do that. It's just saying like that's how you're going to get it, is it's like wrapped up in like complication.
Wait, what do you mean?
I just mean like that it's going to be
fucking Michelle Williams from behind.
Yeah. That's complicated.
It is complicated. I mean, I feel like that's the movie sort of telling us like he's not into this, even though he has 2 children with her. I mean, but it seems like he insists like this is the way we're going to do it.
Yeah. And then she is clearly not. And like, she's trying to look
like,
him
can
in the
I just
eye
face you and we kiss while we do it? And he's like, no.
Yeah.
Ennis is genuinely terrifying. Like,
yes,
I think the first time I saw it, I was like, oh, he's so broken. Maybe I could fix him. But no, like he's genuinely like he literally,
quick to anger.
He is quick to anger. Like if he can't fight it or fuck it, he just doesn't say anything at all. Those are his 3 options: fight, fuck, or silence.
Yeah.
It's genuinely terrifying because it also changes at a moment's notice, and sometimes intermingled between like his and Jack's first tryst.
Yeah.
Is like fighting and fucking. What if we could do them both?
Yeah. That's what I mean. Is that not how gay sex works?
Well, yeah. Well, first you have to choose who's going to be on top and bottom, and that's through fighting. You get a ring. A ring of salt is has to be 6 feet across.
Yes.
That's regulation size, because you also have to get a referee from gay headquarters or regional headquarters if a gay headquarters guy is not.
It's like Santa Claus. He's representative.
And then whoever wins the fight bottoms. Twist.
It's like an
Guess you didn't see
MMA
that one
fight.
coming.
It's like at some point there's going to be penetration, but it's like the more dominant, usually the younger gay, will, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think it's really interesting.
That's how Oscar Wilde and Lord Bosey, that's how they decided.
Part of me like is frustrated with the character of Ennis, which I think is reasonable. That's like, it's not like, because it's like, why is everyone so like captivated by this man? He's clearly like kind of a dickhead. But then I'm also like kind of captivated by him because it's Heath Ledger and he's a good looking guy, and
it's also the best piece of trade in this rural Wyoming town, I imagine. If you look like Michelle Williams or Linda Cardellini, you probably don't have many options of fuckable guys.
Sure. Yeah, especially when you're uggos like them,
No, I'm just saying they're beautiful women. They probably want to fuck a beautiful man.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's the opposite.
And the only other guy in town is Randy Quaid.
Yeah, that's true. But at least he's got a business,
That's true. He's an entrepreneur and so friendly. If you thin, what does it call him? If you thin boys want a job, you better get your asses in here. Your thin asses in here, your small asses, something weird.
Yeah.
It's like, you just walked in here with nary a word to us.
After saying nothing to them.
And then get mad at us for not like hopping to it?
Yeah, that's how the film started. They say nothing to each other. Jack and Ennis are there
I
at the
think
very
Jack
beginning.
was saying plenty. Maybe not with his lips.
What was he saying?
He was full on like posing
Putting out the vibe.
Truck.
Yeah.
And like trying to get Ennis's eye contact. I feel like that scene is like fully loaded.
Is it?
Much like Herbie, in that he is just like trying to catch Ennis's eye and trying to pick the most like just leaning against my car pose.
Is that how you would, first of all,
how I would? No, because I don't look like Jake Gyllenhaal, so nothing I do will look like that.
What I'm saying, if you were a gay or bi-curious cowboy in the 60s, is this how you would put out the vibe? Just by like,
I'd probably go the more Ennis route and just make everyone miserable around me. I don't know if you've seen how awkward I am just in general, but I'm not good at cruising, even in today's more open society, let alone in the 60s where I'm like, hey,
man,
what's that, Ennis? Is that where your parents stopped?
That rhymes with penis. So,
you ever noticed?
Did you just reveal to me that Herbie is canonically gay? Did I miss that?
No,
did we just like go right by that?
Fully loaded is not a so much a queer term as a tacos term.
or
a baked
potatoes.
potato. That's the culture.
That's their
I was
word.
borrowing their culture.
The potato makers. It's their culture. Okay, well, let's go through our characters a little bit more. I think like we can kind of I don't know if we can check off Ennis completely.
I feel like we can. I feel like he is terrifying, but
yeah.
I mean, I do want to say like Heath Ledger's performance in this is fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's maybe even a scotch too opaque. I could have used a little bit more of like, what's going on in there, buddy? But I mean, it does make him entrancing and interesting as a character. But sometimes I was like, hey, buddy. Also, can you speak up a little? Can you just open your mouth just slightly?
Yeah.
There was a scene like it was I would just wish I could quit you scene where he like comes up to Jack and I had to rewind it because it was like, what did you say? Because he was like, yeah, I don't know. It's like proto Boomhauer talking.
What did he say?
He said, because he was like, cause that's when Jack reveals like he's been to Mexico and implies like, I've hooked up with guys in Mexico, and Ennis is like, I don't know, if I ever find out what I don't know, I'll kill you, is what he says.
Yeah.
Charming. But it's also like, Jack's like, you don't let me, like, what does he say? A few high altitude fucks a year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or for over 20 years? Like, that's rough.
Yeah. And then I think it's also really interesting that Ennis is like one of the first things he said to him, like when they're actually having a conversation for the first time, is, you may be a sinner, but I ain't yet had the opportunity. Like, which is clever.
Sluts.
And then also like true. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's actually, he's like, no, I don't, this is wrong. And while he's doing it, Jack is more like I don't know, he's in a of the time period more in touch with what he actually wants and who he is, while also sort of living a double life. And because I don't think that what is Anne Hathaway's character, Lorene? I don't know that Lorene knows, but she's also not an idiot, you know, like. So I could see her kind of turning a blind eye. Like Michelle Williams' character, Alma, like sees them making out. Like that one's clear, and then they get divorced, and like she after a while, after like she kind of holds it. Finally
it
reveals.
feels like, I mean, he, like I said, he's much better. He's much more adept at navigating the world and living within its limits, but also like finding the boundaries of those limits and trying to push towards them. I mean, he wants to get a ranch with Ennis. And maybe, you know, divorce his wife, live with Ennis, you know, go about their days as like live as business partners and also life partners.
Yeah.
And like trying to find a way to have some simulation of open relationship as best they can in this world. And he's just like, he feels much more in touch with himself. He seems to know who he is. Even if the world rejects it, he seems to be aware of who he is and knows he can go to Mexico and get something when Ennis isn't available. But he also seems to genuinely enjoy having sex with his wife and genuinely enjoys her company.
Yeah.
It does feel like Anne Hathaway, Lurleen, is that her name?
Lorene. Yeah.
Lorene, amazing. She's also fantastic in this, and you do get the impression that she does not know, but you watch her during the phone call scene with her and Ennis, and you sort of watch her realize, like, put all the pieces together suddenly at once. And it's a really good performance. And she makes these sounds a few times. Reminds me of Olympia Dukakis in Moonstruck, who also makes very similar Long Island versions of those sounds.
I think that's my nominee for a Sally Field scene, because I think we get a lot from that. First of all, Ennis gets confirmation that Jack is dead at that point, which he had gotten a postcard returned that said deceased, and so he knows, but also is like gets confirmation. And also she tells the story of like he's changing a tire and it blows and it kills him, but then he's envisioning what he thinks happened, which is that he's severely beaten to death, just like the ranchers were when he was a kid. And you don't really know, at least in this story for sure, like what's going on. But we also see Anne Hathaway, like you said, the gears appear to be turning, and also she seems like she has that speech prepared, and that could be because she's had to tell people how Jack died a bunch of times, or it could be this is our cover story. You know what I mean? For what happened to him, because that reveals too much, or what, you know, and it doesn't really ultimately matter for the kind of the characters in this story. But like, I think that's really, for the viewers, it is kind of interesting, makes it a discussion piece, you know, as far as like what happened to Jack.
I'm glad you're saying it makes it a discussion piece, because I remember when this movie came out, getting into, you know, I'm a reasonable person, loud arguments with friends who would said, oh yeah, and Jack dies during a hate crime. And I'm like, no, he doesn't. We do not know that. And my stance is that in my head canon is that he does not die in a hate crime. He dies as Anne Hathaway describes it. But Ennis is still so traumatized and paranoid that he cannot imagine a gay guy or a queer guy leaving this earth without having been beaten to death.
Well, to be fair to the people that decided it was concrete the other way, is that they show that on the screen. They show him getting beaten
but
up,
I feel like that is an implication that is not necessarily happening.
They show, you know, Ennis then, like, you know, grabbing his head like a headache, and you know what I mean? It's as clear as it can be that that's what he envisions. Whether that actually happened or not is unclear. That's how I read it.
Tell my friends I don't talk to them anymore because of that disagreement.
Because fuck you. But yeah, I think it's understandable that they would think, oh, if you're kind of just reading it literally. But at the same time, it's more about their reactions to it. Like, what does that mean? And I can't remember what my original thought. Oh, that whole scene is just it's a masterclass from Anne Hathaway. Actually, I just think the way that she delivers that whole scene is really well done. There was an
Both
interview.
women are underrated in this movie. I would
Absolutely.
say.
Incredible.
Yeah.
There was an interview I read a piece of that was talking about they filmed it different ways, where she knew about Jack and Ennis and then where she didn't. So she could have a different angle, at least in her head. I don't think she did anything like concrete. And she's like, and what they ended up
Ennis,
using.
I know you fucking homo.
Yeah.
She starts riffing, and he's like, please don't call him a fucking homo for one.
Come on. Lorene. But she
please refer to me only as Lorene.
She said that what they ended up using in the film is a combination of many shots over both or all the different takes. And so she doesn't actually know whether the character knows or not.
Oh, interesting.
Like even in her head, which of course doesn't really matter it's what you kind of take home as the viewer.
Hold on. Tyler. Hey, Tyler.
Snapping. Always good to snap at your partner.
Tyler, can you close that door?
It's been open this long.
Well, no, it wasn't open. She opened it.
She's a cat, Damon.
It's great.
He's got a point. She is a cat.
Anne Hathaway is good in this. I think I agree with you that I think we have to give the Sally Field to that last phone call scene.
Yeah.
But my runner-up would be the Thanksgiving scene. With Anne Hathaway and Jake Gyllenhaal. Another underscoring the fact that they seem to genuinely like each other. His father-in-law seems like a type of guy I wouldn't get along with. So I'm like, yeah.
Do you want to describe the scene for the?
Yeah. So it's Thanksgiving, and they have Anne Hathaway's parents over, Jack's in-laws. Their son has the TV on in the living room, and he's just like watching from like 50 feet away, watching the football game. And Anne Hathaway asks him to, we need to turn off the TV so you can eat your meal, and then you can watch the game after. And Jack gets up to turn off the TV, and he says, your mom's right. You can watch the game after the meal. And then his father-in-law, who's in the midst of cutting the turkey and sort of like took the role of cutting the turkey, stops cutting the turkey, puts the utensils down so delicately, and then walks casually to the TV and turns the game back on. And then Jack gets up. It's like this weird dance, and goes back and turns the TV off. Sits down again. The father-in-law again puts the utensils down delicately and starts to walk towards the TV. And Jack's like, "You sit your ass down, you son of a bitch! Ignorant son of a bitch!"
Yeah, you sit down before I knock your ignorant ass into next week. So what he says. I like it. It's very good.
I do also. I mean, while we're sort of here, I also want to commend the makeup on this movie.
Yeah,
I feel like they do a very good job of very subtly aging these characters up.
It's a lot about their dress and their hair.
Right, a mustache does wonders. From going from 1963 to 1970. What is it?
I think 83 is the last.
Does it get
in a scene? Yeah.
But I mean, especially with Heath Ledger's character, it feels like they almost made him squint, and they put like some sort of like.
They put the makeup lines like they do
on him, and then he opens his eyes again, and they're sort of like scrunched up. It was really well done. He has sort of like freckles from like the sun in the latter scenes, a little graying in his sideburns, and then these really well done like wrinkles near his eyes, and it's really effective without having to go like full, King Theoden on him. It does a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the costumes are doing a lot of work too, especially for Lorene. I'm thinking, I'm sure the hair gets bigger.
Jesus Christ. The hair just keeps getting bigger and more platinum blonde, and just bangles upon bangles.
Yeah. Well, we meet her.
Dan flashes for her shirt.
She's very big personality in the first place. Like she's a rodeo rider. She's a barrel racer when he meets her. So she's got the red cowboy hat that he picks up for her and stuff. So
and she's the daughter of like a. Combine salesman, and then she's also like she's very sort of attuned to herself, and she knows what she wants, and she comes up and hits on Jack, and they do it in the backseat of her car, maybe?
I'm not sure. Yeah.
I think he has a pickup, so it's her car. But yeah, Anne Hathaway does a great job in this, but here's my nominee for the Catherine O'Hara.
Okay.
Michelle Williams,
Yeah.
who is just a bottle of impotent rage for the entire movie. And I feel so bad for her.
Yeah.
The first time I saw this movie, I'm like, these poor men. And every subsequent rewatch, I'm like, these poor fucking women getting dragged into these men's deals.
Yeah, their whole fucking deal. Yeah.
I feel like that is that is a sign of the times. I feel like a lot of people were very sympathetic in the early 2000s and maybe the 90s about like men who were maybe in marriages and realized they were queer later on. And I think today it's like, what the fuck is your problem dragging everyone else into your shit?
Yeah, yeah. Like,
And
deal
I
with your
feel-
shit, and I'm sympathetic to your shit, but you agreed to this, you know?
We've been telling you about this stuff for years. Michelle Williams does a great job, and I feel just absolutely watching her when she sees them kiss, when she's sitting
That
down
her
on
face acting
thing.
in that scene when she
Oh my
sees them
God.
kiss is a masterclass. It's so good.
And it never delves into, oh, gay people are gross, but just like if she had seen her husband like kissing passionately another woman. Like it does a great job of just her realizing that her life is tied to this man who will barely say a word to anyone, doesn't reveal his feelings, won't fuck her face to face. And then she watches him passionately kissing another person out on their stoop, leaving her with the girls.
And he's like not even later. This is when they finally kind of get towards a divorce. Is like he's like not helping, you know, like he's
That
not.
scene where he kisses the one girl and then immediately hands her to Michelle so that Michelle can sob into the little girl's jumper. Heartbreaking. And then compare that to like, not to keep beating this drum, but like compare that we see Jack riding around in a combine with his son in his lap, like genuinely seeming to enjoy being around these people.
He just seems like
it's heartbreaking.
He's more in touch with himself, but he's also like seems just more mentally healthy. I think that's a big part of it. Yeah.
Whether it's like compartmentalization or whatever he has to do, it does seem like he's not, while he is, you know, building a house of lies.
Right.
He's not like dragging everyone else into abject misery like Ennis is. And we see it again with Linda Cardellini at the end of the movie, where she's just like, what the fuck is your problem, basically? Or what does she say? She says, girls don't fall in love with fun.
Yeah,
when Ennis is like,
rude.
I'm probably old enough fun to be around. It is almost Forrest Gump. It's like Boomhauer meets Forrest Gump.
I was going to say just one more one single kudo for
we're almost in a recession. Let's like trying to keep the kudos to a minimum.
The tasty little granolas. When she reveals that she like put a note in his tackle box, like on his fishing line, and he didn't even open it, which I'm like, didn't you also fish? I know you were fucking, but you can't be fucking the whole time.
Yeah,
didn't you also
you seem to be cleaning all these pots and pans and shit.
What were you cooking?
Yeah.
But yeah, so she like left him a note. It was like, bring us home some fish. You never bring home fish. And it's like, oh, this is why.
Yeah, and she almost seems like, understandably, like terrified to bring it up. Like when she calls him Jack Nasty, she seems genuinely. And then he goes off the handle because he's a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that she married that nice guy in the grocery store who knows the word condiments. Yeah. She's in the condiments aisle.
What?
Ketchup.
You don't know the word Ennis.
He only had 1 year of high school. And who were we saying
then.
condiments in the 60s?
It was new.
I also want to say, I thought about this in this rewatch. You know, I mean, Michelle Williams has now, like, her character is tied to this man. And, like, in the 60s, there's a good chance the state she's in wouldn't even allow her to open a checking account on her own.
Yeah, right.
Like, not allow her to open, you know, buy a house without a man's signature, either her father or her husband. So, like, the idea that she is weighted to this guy is just heartbreaking for her to realize. And I'm so glad she, you know, got over
And
it,
I think,
honestly.
you know, she genuinely at one point, you know, loved him and was like wanted him to love her more, you know, or give her more. And then, so I think it's all of that. And I think she probably, like, I don't think we get a ton of, you know, other than calling him Jack Nasty or whatever, which honestly, like any reaction to what she's gone through is like understandable. There's probably, you know, if you had to guess, her character probably is homophobic, but doesn't really, we don't really get into it. but it's
and
like
also probably does not have the tools to understand what the hell is going on,
right,
or anything like any awareness of queer society aside from what straight people allow to permeate into main culture.
How did you feel about the surprise Anna Faris and David Harbour sightings?
Oh my God, David Harbour, Anna Faris, Linda Cardellini, Kate Mara.
Yeah.
I always forget they're in this movie, and each time I'm like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Crazy cast.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, our 4 main actors are incredible. Randy Quaid. Actually, Randy Quaid is a perfectly great asshole in this. Let's talk about him for a second.
Such a fucking asshole.
First of all, what is this plan? So he pulls them in, and I think I kind of figured it out so they've got sheep, and we need to...
You're doing great so far.
We need to let them pasture during the day and then watch them at night so that the coyotes don't get them.
And I thought we were like moving. I thought it was like
we were moving them around.
We are, but like because you want to keep moving sheep, but it's not like City Slickers where they're like trying to get them across, trying to get them over to another state. It's basically like taking them up the mountain for the summer and then bringing them back down.
Yeah,
is the implication,
and trying to lose as few of them as possible because they die all the time, and then coyotes get them. One of them is supposed to sleep up there with set up a pup tent. Sleep up there and watch them during the night, like the night shift. But that's not legal, I guess. That's
right,
not allowed.
because I think they're also on park land. So there are set up campsites that the national park has set up and said, you can camp here. You're not supposed to take your sheep anywhere else. You're not supposed to set up camp anywhere else. And so Randy Quaid is saying, I want you to take them up to pasture on that other land, but leave no trace that you were there. Just take a pup tent. Do not set up a fire. You just are watching the sheep. And then the reason being is they lost 25% of their sheep, I guess, last year. And so he's paranoid about that. But he's a real dick about it. And Jake Gyllenhaal rightly is like, he ain't got no right to make us,
it's cold. It gets real cold at night.
Make us break the rules like this, which he's absolutely right.
Yeah. And then they end up trading, and then it gets really cold, and Ennis gets really drunk because they're hanging out at the campground, and then that's when they have their first encounter sexually.
Which is so uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable sex.
I cannot stress, one, how short it is.
Especially because it's 2 peens. It doesn't work.
Does one peen eat the other peen?
Is it like a Pac-Man situation?
When I lose my virginity, I'll let you know. But yeah, that scene is so uncomfortable in that it is so laced with violence and sort of it's consent gray area beyond belief.
They're drunk too.
They're drunk, and sort of Jack I don't want to say forces the issue, but it feels like I was like, am I reading the room right here? I don't, this doesn't feel very sexy, boys.
But
yeah, it's so very fraught. And if I have one complaint about the movie, especially building up a decades-long, pining and longing and yearning that we do for the last 2/3 of the movie, I feel like there could have been a little bit more romance in this first third.
Yeah.
If I'm supposed to believe that this is a love that will echo through the ages.
Right.
Because it just feels like they're fighting and fucking but you do sort of see them they're playing in the rain when Randy Quaid comes to deliver a message about Jake Gyllenhaal's uncle.
Yeah.
Who's I guess on his deathbed, but then miraculously but you see Randy Quaid sees them sort of playing and tackling and then not so tackling anymore.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like he's really holding you down, son.
I don't know how wrestling works at where you come from.
You pinned him. Where's the ref? You got him.
Here in Wyoming.
Let him up.
We don't do it that way. You're stemming the rose.
And then later we get an interesting flashback to their summer on Brokeback. When they're older, we see a flashback of Ennis's to, him coming up behind Jake Gyllenhaal and just sort of hugging him.
Yeah. From the trailer.
It's very sweet, but I'm like, I could have done with this a little bit more of this.
When did that happen?
Third. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a lot of implied, and we get a little bit more of them actually having kind of more of a relationshipy thing in their trysts, as the years go on, like the naked, the skinny dipping, jumping off the cliff and stuff like that. That happens later, right? Or is that? Yeah.
They jump off the thing with their little peens out.
With the peens. Lauren wanted more peen.
Lauren, you and me both.
Yeah, she. You don't get a lot of peen for the quote unquote gay cowboy movie. There's not,
according to the hardcore pornography we were promised by the religious right. I mean, it is kind of amazing how little sex there is in this movie.
Yeah.
If you were around in 2005, you would have thought this was just like Frat House Frenzy 6, just the amount of sex there was gonna be in this. And in the end, it's 12 seconds of them fight fucking, and then some kiss, passion, and making out. But other than that, it's kind of just what's kind of amazing about it. And I can see why, conservatives and men's rights activists would be pissed, because like what it does is it takes the tableau of the American West and cowboys.
Yeah.
And because of your knowledge of that brief 12-second sex scene, it colors the entire rest of those scenes of them just riding their horses and going fishing and washing their blue washwear, whatever that stuff is called, in the river. Everything else is just like loaded with implication. And it's like, and basically the attitude in 2005 from conservative men was like, "You're ruining it."
Yeah, no,
we had a nice thing going.
I can't even smoke Marlboros anymore.
And I remember people like, well, this is one of the most masculine, representations of American man that we've got. And it's like, yeah, that's probably why they did it. That's the literary. You have discovered literary tools. Like
Speaking
subversion of tropes.
Speaking of, did you read this?
No, I
short
haven't.
story?
I think my friend Adam, friend of the show, has read the short story, but I've never read the.
I had planned to, but
piece.
then didn't.
I should have. I usually try to do this, but I should have read a synopsis of any changes from the short story to this, and I didn't. So,
do you have a thought? Like, I feel like we're good with characters for the most part.
Yeah.
But like, do you have like a thought on legacy after rewatching it, for not necessarily for the gay community, but for you, more importantly, the main character of the gay community? You.
Thank you. It's pretty much me and Jonathan Bailey.
Fuck you, Harvey Milk.
I'll see you in hell, Marsha P. Johnson.
See you in hell?
Yeah, sorry. Oh, it's a nice restaurant in heaven. It's sort of funny named, scampy.
Scampy, you said. Did you say scampy or did you say campy?
Campy.
It's campy. Okay.
But it has a great scampi.
You just mentioned a dish that they probably have. Scampy.
I mean, it feels almost like a meme more than.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a very well-made movie. Do not get me wrong. It's not one that I return to a lot.
Yeah.
And it's not exactly titillating. It's hardly heated rivalry or something. And it's just longing and yearning. It's very well made. I think the styling is really great. I think all that. But in terms of legacy, I mean, I'm trying not to malign it. It's a great movie. I just don't think about it all that much.
Right.
It feels like this seems shitty to say too, but it feels almost like a movie for the time, a movie about gay people for straight people.
For straight, yeah. I was going to ask that because it does feel. I think that's happened. I mean, I think that happens to a lot of movies too, where you're like, well, do you want it to make money or not? Where they're like, you gotta at least make it. But it does seem like. And I feel like this happens with a lot of any minority focused movie where you're like, makes us the whites or the straights or whatever go like, see, or whatever we're trying to say, like,
they also have feelings.
I really understand your experience now, like, fuck you,
Thank you, Jordan Peele. I know what it's like to be a black man dating Allison Williams.
Yeah. Something I've always wanted to feel.
Very specific niche interest.
Yeah.
But still. Yeah, I mean, I don't mean that to malign it. I feel like at that time, queer people were coming into mainstream culture, and this felt like the moment where I think when gay people were in pop culture, they were very desexualized. In the 90s and 2000s, like we were the gay best friend,
Or
but we never had
cartoonish and-
boyfriends. Even Will on Will and Grace, like he had an ex-boyfriend, but he rarely hooked up with guys, at least in the first few seasons. And him kissing guys felt like, you know, we were just praying at our little shrine. It felt like they were there to deliver bon mots and that's it. And this felt like, no, gay people exist, gay men exist, and they have sex. And
they might be cowboys, they might be kind of assholes and violent.
This movie did make me want to drink a lot and smoke a lot, though. Everyone was constantly
Lots of
drinking and smoking,
cigarettes.
I always want to do like a cartoon
smoke-along.
or a Druford where there is like a flashback to the 70s and just everyone has cigarettes. In fact, actually, now I'm remembering, I did do a Druford where he has a fantasy of going
You can't
out
see the
to
talk
his-
bubbles because of the smoke filter.
He has a fantasy of like being out at a farmer's market with his boyfriend, and he for some reason imagines it as the 1970s, and they all have like at least 2 or 3 cigarettes on their person. But it feels like, that feels like the 60s and 70s probably. That feels accurate. But yeah, I don't want to malign it. I'm not saying that it's not an important milestone in queer movies. But yeah, it doesn't speak to me necessarily, but it feels like a longing and trying to convey to straight people like, hey, some people aren't allowed to tell their stories, and that can cause like regressive trauma on themselves.
Where you can go, hey, maybe it is Adam and Steve.
And Steve is fucking miserable.
He's not doing well.
Yeah, I mean, it puts you in the shoes of a man questioning his sexuality or severely repressing his sexuality. And I feel like that is a milestone to be celebrated in mainstream cinema. I also feel like the fact that Heath Ledger didn't win an Oscar for this seems ludicrous to me. He won for the Joker, but not for this.
Yeah, that seems kind of crazy. But I also am like, I don't know, the like, this has to win the best picture thing is always like, or this has to win this or that is always weird to me. The creativity as competition. But I will say Crash winning it over this is crazy.
Thank you.
Because that movie sucked. Hey, do you want to go to the verdict? I feel like we're
Have we
verdict
done
time.
a COH? Do we agree?
Is it Michelle Williams?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Catherine O'Hara Award goes to Michelle Williams. I agree with that. I think you could give it to any of the main cast, honestly.
Absolutely.
So because you put that forward, I
What if we just do Randy Quaid and people are like, what movie is this again?
What are we talking about? Kate Mara as Ennis's daughter, Alma Jr.
Alma Jr. I do like that she keeps getting referred to as Junior. I find that so sweet. I do want to say one more thing about when David Harbour, who is implied to be like Jack Twist's newest thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am so bad at cruising, pickups, flirting. I'm like, how are you guys? He's like, my friend's got a cabin. Maybe you and I could go up there, go fishing, go hunting,
Yeah.
And I'm like,
is that sex?
I'd be like, what do you mean? Why would I go fishing? What the hell are you talking about? I'd be the worst. Jack Twist in history.
I feel like you'd learn how to navigate it, Like when
I'd
you
be
were
like,
single.
Oh, fishing.
Yeah, fish thing. All right, let's go to the verdict.
Yeah.
Ride our horses. And I'll start the verdict, but I'm gonna the whole time. We didn't really talk about that. Okay.
I saw it.
Let me get into it.
Go ahead.
Let me get into it. Okay. I was I was talking up the score because I remember I do like that main theme, but Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Too much.
Yes.
It's not the Superman theme, okay?
Yeah.
Like
Cool it.
And there are some other and it only does like kind of start halfway through where it really goes into that theme, but once it gets going, and that theme I think is a little bit too unvaried for how often they use it. Like John Williams' theme, or like
what do you mean by unvaried?
Like they don't do a lot of variations on the theme like they would.
Oh, I see.
Like,
Yeah.
Leia's theme is like tied into the Empire theme when we get to I don't know if Star Wars is the best example of like subtlety, but like, it's a little like, it's a little ham-fisted, which is, by the way, my verdict is Your Child is not an idiot. This is a good movie, but also boring. This movie is boring. And
that's why Heated Rival was like, what if we just show him fucking most of the time?
It feels like they were trying to get an Oscar, and they can say like, we were just trying to make a love story. It feels like you were trying to make a point in a way that it's like a book report book for school a little bit. And it doesn't mean it's not good. You know what I mean? Like cinematography is beautiful. The acting is incredible. The story is tragic. And like, all that, like, yes. Also like, okay. This is kind of how I feel about every like period piece, which is what this is, if like Anna Karenina or whatever, where I'm like, okay, but like, what are we doing? Because
we're trying to get run over by a train, says Anna Karenina.
Yeah. I'm not saying I need like more car chases. I'm just saying like furtive glances, and you know what I mean? It only takes you so far. And after some point, I'm like, okay. I do think one of my favorite things about this movie is how they do the time jumps. I think they were really well done, not just in the way that you mentioned before of the costuming, the hair, the makeup, which I think was really well done, but also just like, you don't really need to know how long it's been, but time has passed. And you get a little bit here and there where they mention time has passed, or that, I haven't seen him since whenever or whatever.
I mean, and 4 years before they see each other again after
the first time. Yeah. And I think that also it like makes sense why he's so elated to see him again. It's been a really long time. And like kind of thought he like tried to go back the next year. And then Randy Quaid's like, you gilded the lily, a queer person. And he's like, oh, okay.
Stem the rose.
Stem the rose. Yeah.
You bloomed off the rose.
Everyone in this movie's hot.
Randy Quaid, yeah.
Randy Quaid especially.
Jack Twist's mom.
Michelle Williams, Anne Hathaway, Jake Gyllenhaal, Heath Ledger,
Linda Cardellini.
Okay, maybe those 5 are the ones I'm talking about. But
actually, the guy that Linda Cardellini ends up with, Carl's nice. He even talks. Carl is also kind of high. I'm like, hey, what's Carl's story?
Let's talk more about Carl. But yeah, I think, and the scene, we didn't even mention the scene with Jack's parents later, where it seems like they know what's up. Like they're, or at least the dad is like real. And that leads a layer of like, was he tragically murdered? And so they're like trying to be sensitive, or is it just that, their son has died and then they're like,
it seems like he already had a relationship with his dad that was fraught based on what he was saying on Brokeback early on.
Yeah. So, I mean, like,
but that man scared the shit out. Like years of being in Tennessee, I was like, I am scared shitless by this man.
Yeah. That is a guy who will drag you by your genitals behind a truck kind of vibe.
100%.
Yeah. It's Your Child's not an idiot, but also like, I don't ever want to watch this again. It also like the cheesiness that made the memes, I think is pretty deserved. Like it's not a joke of a movie, and it's not like it's bad, but it's also like it's a little ham-fisted. Especially watching it now, 20 years later. What do you think, Damon?
Your Child is not an idiot. I think there is a little bit of that Oscar baitiness.
Yeah.
The guitar especially almost feels like you're making a parody of whatever movie this is. It's like, okay, like I saw it for its 20th last year. And when we came out of the theater, the first thing that me and my friend Chelsea said was like, what is with the guitar? And they were like, bling, bling. In fact, it reminds me, I know this is going to be a niche reference that only I will get, and I am not the audience by definition of this podcast. But Cook's Country is a cooking show I watch where they make sort of, old-timey recipes. And they used to do this thing on older versions of the show when there would be a time lapse in a recipe, they would cut to the exterior of the house that they are filming in.
Right.
And there would be like a blang, blang, blang. And sometimes if there's a lot of time lapses in a recipe, it will be so ludicrous. I'm like, guys, you have to find a different way to do this because I cannot sit through shots of a house and 3 guitar strums.
It's like a little, when they do the little instrumental breaks in NPR shows that are not live. They're like, what are you doing right now? What is happening right now? Why? It makes me feel like I have internet brain because I'm like, this is 30 precious seconds. What are we doing?
Ari Shapiro had to go to the bathroom, okay? He can't just sit here for 6 hours.
This is the podcast version. We don't need to do that. Sorry, please continue.
But I mean, other than that, it is very effective. I think it's well done. All the performances are great. I do agree that it is a movie I don't return to a lot because it is fraught, and it's like, I'm reminded of there's a fake Seinfeld movie where Lane rents his movie from a video store, and it's called Pain and Yearning, and on the back it says an old woman experiences pain and yearning, and that's what I think of with Brokeback Mountain.
Yes.
It's not something like, hey, let's put this on, it's fun.
Yeah.
But not all movies are supposed, it's not trying to be that, and it's not trying to be heated rivalry either. It's a very, can you imagine?
I can. I am.
And I will.
And I'm putting it in the spank bank. You know what
yeah, it's a good movie. But although I think it feels a little dated and a little ham-fisted now.
Yeah.
I think it might feel a little ham-fisted because this story, I feel like, it got so ingrained into the zeitgeist that we sort of absorbed it, and I think we understand it in a way that it gave us all like sort of a landmark, both queer people and straight people, to be like, oh, this is like that thing. This is this thing that they were experiencing.
Yeah. When it's like, okay, so a dingo ate my baby became like a laugh line, but it's like the story's actually tragic. It's kind of the same with I Just Don't Know How to Quit You, where you're like in the story, you're like,
and all the fake Brokeback trailers where people would recut old movies to make it seem like Doc Brown and Calvin Klein are in love.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
Yeah.
We're all having fun here.
What do you think, everybody? Are you no longer an ally like Damon? Leave us a voicemail, 615-576-0525. You can email us, yourinnerchildsandidiot@gmail.com. If you want to become a patron of the show, you can go to patreon.com/yourinnerchildsandidiot.
Are we going to read the patrons' names to the guitar strums of...
Okay, but I
Brokeback
want to do Ennis and you do Jack Twist. Okay.
Oh, voices? I do
Yeah.
Jack Twist or you do Jack Twist?
No, you do. Wait, which one do you want to do?
I mean, Ennis feels like I can do it. Just Jack Twist is just a slight Southern accent.
It's just kind of me
Yeah.
with a Southern accent.
Okay, you do Jack Twist, Jack Nasty, and I will be Penis Delmore.
Okay. I want to thank our current patrons. I don't know if I can do this the whole time, including Lindsay, Halik,
Beth Surmont,
Bill Haynes,
Captain Jean-Luc Picard,
Caroline Amberson,
Dr. Malcolm's even bosom.
I just realized I put these in alphabetical order, but that's fine. You get alphabetical. We can do that here in Wyoming on Brokeback Mountain.
And back broke. Got your back blown out, Mountain.
Woo! Dramatically place hot dog. Yeah.
His Honor the Mayor.
How to do Jake Gyllenhaal as Jack Twist doing
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Holiday classic Jingle All the Way.
It had the cadence of a joke.
Jackson in Wyoming as well.
Jeremy Powlen.
Jonathan Day.
Josh Frigo.
Karen Kurd.
Larissa Maestro.
I say Lindsay Nell. I'm just kidding. Foghorn Leg.
You're turning into Colonel Sanders. Oh, Miss Chicken Nugget.
I just don't know how to particle man.
Shit on the Cartouche.
Stuart J. Oops.
T. Smith.
The Elusive fan Gromkin.
The Hands of Hate.
The supreme ruler of this podcast.
The Zesty.
Tippy Von Cheaterly.
Tommy Boy is my favorite movie.
It sure is, Ennis.
Oh boy. That Chris Farley made me laugh. To beat the band.
Travis Vance.
And Zachary Harley. Why don't you, huh? Why don't you just leave me alone?
Why don't you just leave me alone? Thank you all very much for supporting us. If you want to support like them, patreon.com/yourinnerchildsandidiot. If you want to get my solo recording of the one section of the Brokeback theme, you can buy it on...
If there were other sections, you could have fooled me.
It's available now on Columbia House Records. It's just $20.
Bridge or something, like a chorus.
And I'll just send you a CD of it every week.
Over and over. I already have this one.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Oh yeah.
Oh, I guess apparently the sheep were like a real bitch on the set
I
of this
know that
movie.
some of it was just CGI sheep.
Yeah, they had, I think, 70 or something. I made up the number, but it was like some, a bunch of them, but like not nearly as many hundreds like there were. And so the rest were CGI.
Right. I imagine they're like 70's enough, and they put it on that hill, and they're like, that's not nearly
very many."
enough.
I underestimated. I started counting and I just fell asleep.